Hello, NBA fans. Daily news about the Los Angeles Lakers. I'm a fan of the Lakers show and I hope you'll subscribe to the channel and give it a like. The Lakers need a great defender, and Ben Simmons was already an all-star, but his performance has declined recently. But Ben Simmons could resurface to his former glory days alongside Luka Doncic and LeBron James. So, would signing defender Ben Simmons be a good bet? The Los Angeles Lakers are among the few teams that have focused exclusively on building their roster with free agent signings this offseason. With key additions like DeAndre Ayton, Marcus Smart, and Jake LaRavia, the purple and gold have become a significantly more competitive team after addressing key roster issues. While Los Angeles is certainly perceived as a better team heading into the 2025-26 campaign, it is safe to say that they aren't necessarily viewed as serious threats in the West. With the likes of the reigning champions, the Thunder, the newly improved Rockets, and the Nuggets being among the few teams in front of them, the purple and gold need to revisit their strategies to get better. While several trade ideas have presented a method for the team to improve their overall roster strength, the franchise seems to be averse to making any drastic changes at the moment. This leaves the free agency market as the only remaining means of adding upgrades. While several candidates could be viewed as worthwhile, from guards to bigs, the Lakers may benefit from considering one that is positioned as a solid blend of both. Ben Simmons. Signing Ben Simmons could be an intriguing option for Los Angeles. Given the team's current makeup, the Lakers could look to improve upon their perimeter defense and bench playmaking. When considering Simmons' skill set, the former All-Star appears to be the perfect fit for the team. The 29-year-old is truly a unique athlete. At 6 feet 10 inches and 240 pounds, he is an extremely athletic and agile player with incredible defensive instincts and passing skills. Primarily utilized as a point guard on offense, Simmons has been known to leverage his court vision and size to create scoring opportunities. While his offensive contributions are solid, the three-time All-Star is a versatile defender. At his size, Simmons is capable of making the most of his agility, strength, and length to guard multiple positions with ease. His ability to switch assignments during active possessions is an impressive feature, which, when paired with his outlet passing, makes for easy scoring opportunities in transition. Simmons most recently played for the Los Angeles Clippers last season. In 18 appearances, he primarily came off the bench to provide a defensive boost. During this period, the guard recorded an average of 2.9 points, 3.8 rebounds, 3.1 assists, and 0.7 steals per game in 16.4 minutes played. Playing in a reduced capacity on offense for the Clippers, the former All-Star was able to focus his efforts on the defensive end, emerging as a solid contributor to the team's efforts. The Lakers could utilize a similar approach, albeit with some differences. In the second unit, having Simmons act as a secondary playmaker on offense and a defensive anchor on the perimeter would give the purple and gold a lot of flexibility. Although this would require the Lakers to surround him with shooters and more scoring talent, his ability to cover a significant area on defense would be worth gambling on. Similarly, the Lakers could look at an elite defensive rotation off the bench featuring Simmons and Smart together. With two players capable of locking down primary ball handlers and offensive options, the purple and gold could choke opposition scoring and disrupt rhythm. Additionally, this also allows the Lakers to experiment with a small ball rotation with Simmons playing the role of the center. Overall, there are significant benefits to signing Simmons. However, there are certain shortcomings that would need to be addressed as well. The issue with signing Simmons. The Los Angeles Lakers will be heading into training camp with a 13-man roster, with 2 roster spots available. Los Angeles typically prefers to save one spot for a key signing later in the season. While the Lakers could still sign Simmons and solidify their main rotation for the 2025-26 season, the franchise may hesitate to do so because of the guard's contract demands. He is reportedly seeking a new deal in excess of the veteran's minimum. This decision is what has prevented the former All-Star from joining a new team. While the purple and gold have the cap space to extend a fresh contract to the 29-year-old, they may not see as much value in doing so, primarily due to Simmons' injury history and limited availability. As the Lakers gear up for a title charge this season, the front office will also look to sign players who can contribute to the goal. While Simmons possesses all the right tools, his inconsistent drive and health make it a challenge to consider him as a viable target. LeBron James has to pass the baton to Luka Doncic, says Charles Barkley. LeBron James was the main guy in high school, the first pick of the 2003 draft, and the top option on all 3 NBA teams he has represented. But at 40 years old, it may be time for him to start thinking about the future and gradually step aside to give the spotlight to someone else. With Luka Doncic's arrival at the Los Angeles Lakers, James is now shifting into a second-option role, and that is uncharted territory for him. Charles Barkley spoke about James' current situation in the latest episode of Bill Simmons' podcast. The round mound of rebounds, like the host, has never gotten along too well with James, even though they both acknowledge his greatness. Still, managing to put bias aside, they discussed what's next for the 4-time NBA champ. Simmons noted that James finds himself in a weird situation heading into the 2025-26 season, with the Lakers clearly positioning Doncic as the new face of the franchise. It's a sentiment echoed by many in recent weeks, which may be why Barkley, never one to mince words, bluntly suggested that the king hand over the keys to his kingdom. "It's time to move on, brother," Barkley said, before noting that a changing of the guard has always been part of the story in historic franchises. Kareem. "Hey, Bill. See, this is the problem. Kareem did it with Magic. Tim Duncan did it with Tony Parker, Ginobili, and Kawhi Leonard. You have to, Bill," he said with passion. "The baton has to be passed from everybody. It's passed from everybody. The Lakers have been irrelevant. The bubble was the last time they've been relevant." Of course, Doncic's arrival made the Lakers stronger than they were before the trade, but it still wasn't enough to get them past the Minnesota Timberwolves, who defeated them in just 5 games. Barkley argued that despite the star power, the Lakers remain a tier below the best teams in the West, Oklahoma City, Denver, and Houston. The 76ers legend added that other Hall of Famers have been helped late in their career by younger superstars, and brought up Kareem Abdul-Jabbar and Tim Duncan specifically. "It should make it easier. Magic and James Worthy were probably responsible for the last 2 championships," he went on. "And for Tim Duncan, who's the greatest power forward ever, I think Parker, Ginobili, and Kawhi Leonard were responsible for the last 2 championships," Chuck argued. "He still gets the championship ring. If the Lakers win the championship, and Luka gets Finals MVP, LeBron still gets the championship ring." Both Barkley and Simmons make valid points, but from James' perspective, any championship without a Finals MVP would almost certainly be used against him in the GOAT debate. Jordan went 6 for 6 on both championships and Finals MVPs. Kobe Bryant, despite being universally beloved, still has his lack of Finals MVPs brought up, as does Steph Curry. Right now, nobody knows exactly what James is thinking, but it's clear he understands what it will take to win another ring. If he chooses to play second fiddle to Luka, it could benefit both him and the Lakers, and number 5 might still be within reach if everything falls into place. LeBron James' hated rival is the perfect upgrade target for the Lakers. This would be a wild twist. The NBA regular season is still well over a month away, but Los Angeles Lakers fans are already thinking about mid-season wing trade targets. The name that Jovan Buha brought up on his podcast isn't one that fans thought they might hear, but it's possible, given his new team. Who is that player? None other than Dillon Brooks. LeBron James and Brooks possibly playing on the same team? In Los Angeles? After everything that Brooks said and did during the 2023 playoffs when the Lakers played the Grizzlies? Clearly, it didn't bother LeBron, who made Brooks look silly. Still, it's hard to envision the two sharing the floor for the same team. Buha said that despite his hesitation about what Brooks brings, or doesn't bring, offensively, he called Brooks the closest thing that the Lakers could get to a real two-way wing. Buha noted that Brooks has bought into his role offensively more since being traded from Memphis and that he has improved as a shooter. He also highlighted Brooks' defensive tenacity. Buha predicted that Brooks' current team, the Suns, won't finish higher than 11th or 12th in the conference standings next season. He doesn't foresee a path for them that will result in a playoff berth, not even via the play-in tournament. That is very valid, considering Phoenix's situation. Buha lists Dillon Brooks as a wing trade target for Lakers. Brooks ended up in the desert as part of the multi-team trade that sent Kevin Durant to the Rockets. Matt Ishbia believes that Phoenix can contend for a title, a sign of delusion, but once he realizes that won't happen in the 2025-26 season, the Suns could be sellers at the deadline. Brooks can help a contender when he understands his role. The 29-year-old has 2 seasons left on his current contract. He'll make $21.1 million this upcoming season and $19.9 million in the 2026-27 season. Los Angeles has an open roster spot that won't be filled before the season. It can't be filled because the earliest they can sign a player to a minimum deal is January 18th. Depending on the position that LA is in after Christmas/at the start of the new year, the Lakers could look to upgrade with a trade rather than make a smaller-scale signing. Will Brooks be that player? Nobody knows yet. The only thing we know for sure is that the Suns won't be a threat next season. Giannis Bucks' decision sends shockwaves, Lakers still hopeful. Game recap, Sparks vs Storm, September 1, 25. The Los Angeles Lakers' long-shot hopes of landing Giannis Antetokounmpo hit a roadblock this week as the Milwaukee Bucks secured the return of the superstar's older brother, Giannis Antetokounmpo, on a guaranteed 1-year, $2.9 million deal, ESPN's Shams Charania reported. The move is widely viewed as another signal that the 2-time MVP intends to remain in Milwaukee, at least in the near term. But the Lakers, along with several other teams, are not ready to abandon their pursuit, according to veteran NBA insider Mark Stein. The Bucks are projecting and never had a doubt confidence about Giannis' future, Stein noted. Yet, multiple teams continue to keep a close watch on the situation. The truth, furthermore, is that I'm not sure the knowledge Antetokounmpo has opted for the status quo will do much to dissuade teams that still dream of luring him away from continuing such plotting behind closed doors, Stein wrote in his Substack newsletter, The Stein Line. I can think of at least 6 or 7 teams that have been anticipating an opportunity to make a credible trade run at him, and I suspect that list, in actuality, is longer than mine reads. Lakers strategically positioned. The Lakers have been preserving cap flexibility this summer, resisting long-term deals as they prepare for potential free agency opportunities in 2027 when Antetokounmpo or Denver Nuggets star Nikola Jokic could become unrestricted free agents. With Thanasis back in Milwaukee, Giannis is effectively locked in for the start of next season. Still, if the Bucks encounter turbulence, trade chatter could flare up again. According to Anthony Irwin of Clutch Points, if the Lakers and Bucks ever engaged in serious trade talks for Giannis, undrafted guard Austin Reeves would almost certainly be at the center of the discussion. It's almost a surefire thing that if the Lakers and the Bucks get into trade negotiations for Giannis, the first name in terms of players that Milwaukee is going to ask about is Reeves, Irwin said on the Lakers Lounge podcast last month. And then it's like, well, do you want Giannis or do you want to try to keep Reeves here? Reeves' rising value. Reeves turned down a 4-year, $89.2 million offer from the Lakers earlier this offseason, opting to bet on himself in free agency next summer. If he declines his $14.9 million player option for 2026-27, the 26-year-old will become an unrestricted free agent. Lakers beat reporter Jovan Buha predicted that Reeves could command a deal of 4 years and $120+ million, a massive leap for a player who entered the league undrafted just 4 years ago. His efficient scoring, playmaking, and toughness have made him one of the Lakers' most reliable options behind LeBron James and Anthony Davis and later on, Luka Doncic. Post-LeBron planning. With LeBron entering the twilight of his career, the Lakers front office is looking at the long-term picture. Both Antetokounmpo and Doncic are considered potential cornerstones for a post-LeBron era in Los Angeles. However, the Lakers lack abundant trade assets. Beyond Reeves, they hold only one tradable first-round pick, 2031 or 2032, and a second-rounder in 2032. Financial flexibility largely lies in expiring contracts, including LeBron's $52.6 million option. Additional first-round assets will become available next summer, potentially giving Los Angeles more leverage if Antetokounmpo or Jokic enters unrestricted free agency. For now, the Bucks move to bring back Thanasis underscores Milwaukee's intent to keep Giannis, while the Lakers remain on the sidelines, waiting and hoping that the dream of pairing of Doncic with another MVP may still have a chance in the future.